It's time for the grey areas with Jason Adams and George Farrugia.
That kid was a human dynamo.
Are you sure you're talking about George?
George of the jungle, friend to you and me.
Good afternoon. Welcome to this week's edition of Grey Areas. It's Friday afternoon, and it means it's time to have a bit of fun and review what's been a big week of racing, which, of course, will roll on to tonight at Warragul. And, of course, we've got some teasers as well ahead of week one of the Australian Cup next Saturday night here at the Meadows. My name's Jason Adams, as always, joined by the great man in G, Farrugia. Georgie, what's happening, my friend?
Oh, just a rush
Take
against
your sunnies off.
a rush against
on?
traffic. Sorry, mate. I just I heard you were going to run late, and I just got here. Then I've realised I've worn this t-shirt probably the last 3 weeks. I have washed it in between,
Are
but
you sure?
it's my favourite Boston Celtics shirt, so I have to maybe get some new attire. But we got here on time, mate. After
What
what
happened? There was a
night.
prang and a couple of lanes were shut. And
Oh, you couldn't
took me
move.
2 hours when it should have taken one.
They do, for people that aren't from Melbourne, they do call it the car park, the old freeway down there. So, yeah, heading back from Sandown. So, all's good. We're here.
All good. All right, time for a bit of fun. Of course, we normally kick off the show with a few skits. We're going to drip feed them throughout the show. And James Vanderman, look, he's in the gun last week and he's back in it this week. Not as severe, but we'll get to that later on just before the Farrugia Files. But, hey, Georgie, last night, we'll speak about, firstly, the action at Q2 Parklands with, of course, the running of the Gold Bullion, which was the main event on the program. The Victorians cut loose. Firstly, let's speak about the Gold Cup, which was won by Fade to Black, who was just simply outstanding, defeating Without a Trace. And as soon as she got to where she did, particularly 50 metres into the race, I thought, good luck to him. That is not going to be able to get her. But Fade to Black took over and just beat her fair and square. He was unreal.
I've got a few friends who are a little bit dirty on me today because I tipped Fade.
Again.
Well, I tipped Fade to Black the week before. And for all that's seen the run, it was one of the bigger runs of the year. It was massive, the way he got to the line against Jay Walking. And they said, do you think he's a chance this week? I just didn't know where he was going to land early, Jason. I mean, then he just come out and led them, and she was never going to run them down. Track record, by the way, 40 and 85. Previous record, 40 and 88. So a new track record. You're not running dogs down, running track records. Her run was very good, but take nothing away from Fade to Black. Interesting comments from Tony Brett after the race saying, first time he trialled him, he couldn't work out how this dog hadn't won a Group 1 yet. I mean, in terms of his ability and speed, and Group 1's uneasy.
And although Without a Trace didn't win the race, there is nothing to take away from what she did. She did everything that you'd want her to do. Just on the night, Fade to Black was just a shade better.
She used the box well. She nearly led. He beat her out and was too good. I thought Magpie Hector's run was really good too in third as well, Jason. And what it does is it sets up a really interesting Zoom top next week, providing all three of them pull up okay and are selected for the race.
Do you think we'll see Magpie Hector here?
I hope so.
Is he nominated? We've got that sheet. Yes, he has been nominated.
Yeah.
So
I hope so.
You have to go in based on what he's done in the past couple of weeks in your review.
So. Jack Smith's not scared to come down the highway and take our money. So, look, all three runs were fantastic. Yeah, take nothing away from her. Her habits mean that she's always going to be a chance to win a race like that. It took a track record run to beat her, and Fade to Black, he's always been sort of thereabouts, Jace, hasn't he, against good dogs? Just hadn't taken that next step. He always seemed just the rung below. Not last night. No way. And Tony Brett, the master again.
Yeah, indeed. And credit to Kayla Cottrell as well. He did a great job with him when he's had a great campaign for a long period of time now. And now he's got the big win of which he deserves. So he was sublime. And we're probably looking at him a bit different on his return to Melbourne now, aren't we, ahead of next week? In a race where he'd go around at probably $8, $9, he's now possibly half that price.
Maybe $4.50. You'd think Without a Trace it'd still start favourite, but it makes it really interesting. And that's why we want Magpie Hector there too, because he has been around here over 600 metres, hasn't he? So I think it's a track that would suit him. Game on.
Game on indeed. The Group 1 Gold Bullion, which was a very entertaining race. It was won by the Melbourne Cup winner in Kenya Mayhem, who was just superb, and he was challenged. I mean, I didn't think he was going to get there on the home turn because the leader was going so well, but the way that he kept fighting and that will to win, you just can't buy it.
Well, again, the Tony Brett tax, he nearly got the double, and it wouldn't have been much surprise. But look, sometimes you just got to break it down simply. This greyhound is just nailing the start, getting things right, Couple that with his ability, Kenya Mayhem, and he's just a pro. Is he the fastest dog in Australia? No. Is he one of the more professional? Absolutely, he's heading in that direction. He was great on Melbourne Cup night. I thought his Phoenix run, we keep talking about it, Jace, was unbelievable. And again, the heat win was really good last week. Had to go 5 seconds flat early to get across from the wide draw. And then this week had to contend with box 6 and did it again. So all credit to the Greyhound. He's just, and if you think about it, when he won the Melbourne Cup, I think he only had about 18 starts. He's had, 21, 22 now. He's only going to get better. But that early speed, similar with Without a Trace, they put themselves into positions to win races. Fernando Bale was like that. Fana Bale was similar. I'm not saying Kenny Mayhem's anywhere in that class. What I'm saying is those good dogs just do the right things in big races, and Kenny Mayhem's done it on the big stage on numerous occasions now.
It's been a real surge, and now he's the 24th Greyhound to surpass $1 million in prize money. So he's done it in a really short amount of time, and who knows what's possible for the rest of the year.
It's just I'm getting old, Jace. I remember still being at Sandown when Rapid Journey was the highest prize money winner at $530,000. Now to fast forward,
a long time ago.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm getting old. To fast forward, he was late 90s.
Almost 30 years.
Almost 30 years. We've got $24 million winners and one that's won $2 million.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
He's a gun. He was absolutely superb. There's a comment here from Ryan Vandenberg. Again, a great contributor to the show each and every week. Victorians running rampant last night. Fade to Black deserved last night. He's been destined to win a big race. Congrats to all connections. Same with Jess Hopkins and Kenya Mayhem. What a star.
Yeah, and I think what I like about it is I think that they took different paths as well. I think Fade to Black stayed with Tony Brett, and I think Jess Hopkins flew back and forth. There's different ways to take Queenslanders' money, and we got the job done.
Yeah, and
he is now.
Yeah, he was the photo from last week, and I tell you what, straight after the win. Now Jess has got plenty of coin up her sleeve. Able to buy this boy a blanket. And if you saw last week's show,
the Kenya blanket. This is absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely priceless. All right, that was the action in Queensland. And what I do want to mention as well, and I didn't give you awareness that we're going to bring this up on the show, but the winner of the Vince Curry, the maiden final last night, Saronan Tiger, can he run? I was on Skies today morning. I tipped him. I knew he'd go well. That well, he was stunning.
Well, he went quicker than Kenya Mayhem.
First split and overall.
Yeah, he's a very, very fast dog. And I've mentioned this a couple of times, and we did it on the social media post. Actually, the first feature race winner was a hooked on Scotch pup called Dish Liquor. And then the second one was a hooked on Scotch too. Hooked on Scotch has seemingly gone to another level more recently. He's got some absolute jets going around. And Darren Russell's dog there looks to have a lot of ability. I know it's only a maiden and they've got to take that step up, but his acceleration looked pretty special. I think he's going.
You got room to do it. So I mean,
look,
clearly he's a fast dog. Stepping up's a different story.
And I don't want to hear any more about people canning blue dogs. That's the other thing. I know that he wasn't, but Kenya Mayhem's blue. Tommy Shelby was blue. A lot of people, especially old school, didn't really like it when a female had blue pups. No, we'll sell them. We'll keep the blacks. Blue dogs are fast. Don't worry about that. So, again, proven last night.
Yep, 100%. Speaking of that Vince Curry maiden series, $75,000 to the winner for a maiden series. I mean, it's good if you win it. Is it ridiculous?
No, I don't think so.
Why?
I think it's good.
Why should a maiden final be worth $75,000?
Well, why shouldn't it? It's fine.
Well, if it's 25, does anything change?
Well, no, but it's a time-honoured race, and I think it's fantastic. Oh, just on that, if we're talking about the Queensland Carnival, it's clearly number 2. Their carnivals.
Their winter carnival's better than this one.
I think. They're 2 and 3 in the rankings, aren't they, of carnivals in Australia? The Dream Chasers, I think, still gets top billing. You got Phoenix, Hume Cup, Melbourne Cup. Top
It means
Gun.
the most. Yep.
Yes. But Queensland do it so well. This started, guys, in late December. So we've been going for 6 weeks. And it started with like a pink diamond type Queensland bred only night. And I think it's just built from there. Over all distances, it's given people a chance to win a fair amount of money. Obviously, Climax here now in the gold bullion. I just think they've set it up so well. I think it's fantastic. And this is not a canning on New South Wales. They have a big night on Golden Easter Egg night, but it's sort of contained to that one night with the Association Cup and a couple of their big races. They got a Magic Maiden series, but Queensland have got this down pat. I think they do a terrific job with it.
Yeah, what they've got up their sleeve is some really good timing. I mean, at this time of year,
Yeah.
I mean, jurisdictions don't want to race in the middle of summer because it's too hot, and they don't want to race in the middle of winter because it's too cold. Where that
Yeah.
they are exactly where these big Queensland carnivals
Yeah.
are, and I really love the winter carnival. And as much as we say the Dream Chasers Carnival means the most, that is true. But for the sort of continuation of what the series is through the middle part of the year, every single week you have good dogs going around.
Yeah.
They're up there for a period of time. So people either have satellite kennels up there, or in the case of Tony Brett, he's got a full kennel
Yeah.
for probably
He just says, come to
2
me,
months
come
of
to
the
me.
year. Come to me, and he
Yeah.
does a very good job, of course. But yeah, they do a very good job in how those two carnivals are set up.
And they also do different things over different distances, but they touch on the things that we love, match races as well. Getting into the Gold Bullion. Now, Irish Bill got himself into the race, started favourite, missed the kick, was never really in contention. But I love that system where there was 7 greyhounds to qualify and 1 had to qualify through sheer brilliance, which is what Irish Bill is, especially running 29.19 there. So I just think the carnival's fantastic, and we don't have to really wait too long, and it starts to gear up again after we have that and the Golden Easter egg. So greyhound racing in a good spot in that regard.
For such a major night like it was last night, do you think it's odd that it's on a Thursday night, where in this era, probably in almost the past decade, we've seen these sort of nights, particularly say at Sandown on a Thursday, be moved to a Friday or Saturday? Do you think it's not a waste, but at least a bit odd being on a Thursday night from an attendance point of view and possibly a wagering point of view as well?
I know apparently they were just chock-a-block upstairs there, but you make a good point. Maybe it's something they look into to change it to a Saturday. Yeah.
They invest a lot in drone footage.
Yeah.
The camera in the kennel block is elite.
Yeah.
I just think maybe in a big
Saturday night meeting.
Yeah, Friday night, Saturday night. I know the Sky schedule's a lot busier throughout those nights of racing, but they are quite accommodating when you do have a big event on.
Well, the beauty with the queue is that you really wouldn't have to change that much because they're racing every day anyway. So you just have to swap those meetings around for the Q1 for the Q2. So now, well done to everyone involved. I thought that the whole thing from late December was handled really well. We had New Year's trophies, Golden Sands, and we unearthed some really, really fast greyhounds, as you mentioned.
Yep, that was the action in Queensland last night, and again, Victorians cut loose. How good is that? Let's move on to what happened at Sandown last night, which was a card that wasn't too bad. It wasn't sort of full of showstoppers, but we saw some pretty entertaining racing. The first race we're going to have a look at is the win of Sparring, which come up in the mid part of the card, and here he is jumping from box 1, and this is a greyhound that we know went through that Ballarat Derby series. Absolutely charging. So last night, this race was served up on a platter. Basically, you had to take it with both hands, and he did exactly that.
Yeah, look, he running 29.2 odd. I thought Whiskey Whiskers' run was pretty weird, to be honest. When he lobbed second, I thought he'd certainly challenge, and he ended up running 4th. But all credit to the winner. I mean, his splits are fantastic. Again, those good habits, Jace, getting out in front, giving yourself every chance, and he'll push forward to some pretty big races in the next couple of months. I think he's a half brother to Matlock, isn't he? Comes from the same mum.
I haven't looked at the breeding.
Yeah, I think he is. So the pedigree's certainly there.
I did see that he's going to be eligible for the maturity in July as well. So you can imagine what
think about how far away that is. Yeah, I mean, so Australian Cup bound, you'd think, based on that.
Yeah. In the following race, we saw your boy Zelda Cavilla, who you tipped again, I think.
Yeah,
tipped him again, and
he's
he was
back,
tough.
Jace.
He's back. Well, he's had some good draws.
They've been
shithouse for a long period of time, and now he's starting to get it together.
Yeah, that's been the difference. Look, he's a quality greyhound. Often that's all a greyhound needs to sort of switch back on. I don't think it was only box draws though. I don't think he was racing all that well too. While I was tipping him for 0-5, I think I was. But he's starting to repay us again last night with a really good win.
Yep. In the following race, it's probably worth talking about. Super Freaky started the very short price favourite from box 1. She would have to be one hell of a headache for Brad Greeno. She can run like the winds, and personally, her confidence is non-existent at this point in time.
Yeah, sister to Saquon. I think both of them have futures over 600 metres, but they are a little bit Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde-ish. Yep.
Fingers crossed you can turn it around.
I'd love to own her. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
let's not mistake it.
That's going to be difficult. Race 7, Compton Gold.
Really
bounced
good.
back. She was great, and of course, Kayla having success up in Queensland. again last night with Compton Gold.
Got to give you the 3 cheers. I watched you on telly give it a fair push on TV, and she was never in doubt. How about the way she roared to the line too? I want to see some race data there, but Compton Gold, really, really nice victory.
Yep, indeed. The one afterwards, which was the free-for-all, Giacomo's, we're going to call him, backed up what was a big performance last week.
I'm going to stick with Giacomo just to really annoy you. But, yeah, congratulations to Vince Borg, got the job done. And the other one I watched was in race 11, Port Gertrude got the job done.
It was one of your best as
yes. It was a nice win. Just really pinged the leads and gave nothing else a chance. So, yeah, good meeting out there.
Yeah, and one other as well worth noting was in race 9, won by Extreme Grunts. Now, this is probably one the race callers would have to be just a little bit careful with, George, with the way his name's pronounced. But either way, he's a very fast animal. He put together some hot performances over the shorter distance, and we know it's always going to be a challenge when they step up. And Paparizzi, who jumped from box 1, was probably in a similar situation to what Extreme Grunt was. We knew a little bit more about Paparizzi. We didn't know how well Extreme Grunt was going to run out the 515 metres, and he was sensational and early George, and did enough to complete the job in rounding it out with a decent run home.
Yeah, Mario Briganti's got a nice one there, and another son of Bernardo. They seem to be popping up everywhere and running fast time everywhere. So, look, he's only about 26 months of age, that greyhound too. So, yeah, you mentioned a race like the Maturity, which he just misses out on, but there's going to be some nice races for that greyhound with those habits as well.
Yeah, and our attention locally turns to Warragul tonight with the cup final there after what was a really entertaining set of heats last week. Of course, the fastest heat winner in Delicate has unfortunately been scratched from the race, and it's unlikely we're going to see her anytime soon. And obviously, Jason Thompson isn't too happy with the situation. You can read more about that on the Greyhound Recorder, but it's still a pretty decent race this. And when I look at it, I want to be with the early pace of one like Off the Chart. You've got Slick Splits, who feels like he's a sleeping giant. Then you've got one like Dramatical, who's just an absolute beast. We're going to take a look at his heat win last week, where he did jump from box number 1 here, and he didn't get it all right whatsoever in these opening stages, George, but he can run like the wind.
Yeah.
How his race unfolds tonight, I'm really not sure, but I'm happy to take him on.
If you've seen him jump like that, Jace, you'd be a little bit worried, wouldn't you? Even here, you're racing against some very, very good greyhounds. He just continued to power forward, took the right move, went up on the fence, and then just said, "See you later." He's a terrific greyhound. I'm a little bit with you, Jason. I think Off the Chart and Intrepidus is where I want to have a bit of a play off box 8. I think Intrepidus will get a nice run from out there. I thought his run last week was pretty good as well. So they're the two that I'm looking at. And one of my favourites is Slick Splits. Great to see him back in time for the Australian Cup. Of course, he's a 2-time Group 1 winner at the Meadows, and can he make it 3? He'll improve on the run. So they're shopping at around the $7 or $8 mark, those two greyhounds. The one you like is favourite now, I think, Off the Chart. Is now second favourite? Second favourite to Dramatical. Yeah. So, yeah, there's a little bit of value there for the Warragul Cup if you're having a play.
Yep, and Slick Splits, I spoke to his partner owner, Jason Lyon, yesterday. The times that he's been trialling leading up to this, and I know short course times generally mean nothing for dogs progressing to these higher status races, but he's gone 21.50 over the 390 at Ballarat.
It's insane.
And then he's gone 24.50 in a hand slip trial here at the Meadows. And I said to Smithy yesterday, I don't think I'll ever get a grip on hand slip times here at the Meadows, but you'd know enough to consider that fast.
Yeah, that's absolutely flying. If you have a dog that can break 25 seconds, you're winning a race here. But I mean, the really good ones to get down to 24.5 is ridiculous. So he's just coming right at the right time. Slick Splits tonight. I don't want to call it a precursor because it's a group race. I mean, you'd want to win everything you're in, but their eyes are on the prize in a couple of weeks' time.
In the Temlee.
Yes.
Where you'd think you'd be a walk-up starter, but of course we'll find out
that race is coming together
Monday.
nicely,
So who's your tip in the Warragul Cup?
I'm going to have something each way on Intrepidus off the pink.
Okay.
Yeah. If we're shopping around the $8 mark, I think he's drawn well and he can really hop a box. So he's the one.
Yep. Interesting race. I'll be with Off the Chart. I'm heading out to Warragul tonight, so
good.
Looking forward to getting out there. Not doing any work on the idiot box, as it's called.
Just there for a quiet one.
No, I'm still working. I'll take the camera down there and interview the winner and whatnot. So it doesn't stop, mate. But we'll have a rest over the weekends. Of course, following tonight's Warragul Cup, we'll then move on to the Meadows tomorrow night. And just before we get into some of the highlights on that card, got some confirmation earlier that West on Sydney, who's a really powerful sprinter out of Western Australia.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be trialling between races tomorrow night. So,
What are we thinking? 29.80?
yeah, I mean, it's pretty rare dogs go quick first up here outside of Cumbria Jack.
Mm.
5:30 early, 29.80. He's that sort of dog.
Yeah, I think so. Just on that, we quickly Gold Force versus Cumbria Jack in a heat of the Bulli Cup tonight.
Yeah, interesting situation that, because we found out that none of those greyhounds have nominated for the Temley last week, that being Cumbria Jack,
It's a shame.
Jungle Johnny. So if they bomb out of tonight's series, then what are they doing? They're coming in next week.
Yeah, it's a shame. We'd like to see both of those greyhounds because Jungle Johnny, his last 4 weeks have been as good as any dog in the country, right? I mean, low 29s at Wentworth Park, broke the track record in a Gosford Cup. He's been absolutely flying. He's drawn box 8 tonight, but Gold Force going head-to-head with Cumbria Jack in the Bulli Cup. Can't wait for that tonight.
It's going to be good. It's a shame we're not going to see him next week all
Big
throughout
shame.
the Australian Cup series, but that is the way it is. All right, so that Meadows card tomorrow night is pretty decent. So we're going to highlight a few of these races. The first of them will be race 3. We see Emron Toy and Slick Badger line up in that race. A pretty good contest.
Yeah, good race. I don't think Slick Badger is drawn all that well, and I think Amron Toy's win last week was very, very good, so that's where I'd be leaning for sure.
Race 6, and this is a greyhound that we spoke about last week in Amron Dancer, where he came up against Mapunga Reward last Saturday night.
Yeah.
This is how that race unfolded. Now, he didn't win the race, Amron Dancer, but goodness me, no admirers lost. He's gone quick early. He's gone quick to the back. He's gone quicker overall. It's just a shame on this occasion that he had one of the more powerful greyhounds in Australian greyhound racing breathing down his neck late.
Yeah, look, I'm a bit biased because obviously Jeff and Angela do a little bit of training for me, but I think Mapunga Reward's an unbelievable greyhound. In fairness, Amron Dancer, she does get clipped just here and loses a little bit of momentum. I don't think she would have held on anyway, but look, her last 4 to 6 weeks as well had been amazing, and the early splits. It's just incredible. She's going into an Australian Cup series with a greyhound like that. You go in with a little bit of confidence for sure.
So Emron Dancer goes around in race 6. Then we've got race 8, which is an interesting race as well. The free-for-all. I should have the field up in front of me, George. Can you get that for me?
I will.
Race 8 at the Meadows tomorrow night, where it's got Barefoot Zulu out in box 8, who's recently resumed. He's got a big opportunity to make a statement and let everyone know that he's back going into an Australian Cup carnival. What does that field look like?
Did you see him run at Geelong?
I haven't watched the replay.
Yeah, just sort of worked into his paces and got there in about 25.80. We're having a look here. It's a good little race. Again, poor Oswald drawn box 5. Uncharacteristically, sort of missed the kick last week a bit, didn't he? He's usually fairly flawless. There's a lot of speed in the race. Hot Nunu can begin okay. Urana Xavier's off the 7 will be coming home. Barefoot Zulu is probably drawn okay out there in box 8. But for me, it's hard to go past the 5. Poor Oswald.
Poor Oswald for Geordie. That is a good contest, right?
Does he get in the Temley? Are you on the panel?
Oh, no, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Nothing to do with this one.
So you can speak on his behalf.
Look, he doesn't have. Well, he won the Australian sprint. But how heavily does that weigh in the conversation against the greyhounds who he will be compared to?
Yeah, but as we know, we're not. It's not all group stuff.
It's not all group stuff. But
I just think if you're picking a field, he'd be stiff to miss out for me. I mean, I'm just off the top of my head, he's just been such a great.
We've got the nominations here in front of us. So there's 83 of them for the Australian Cup, where of course all of them will be considered for the Temley Saturday week. And you've got your familiar names there. I mean, as I scan through that, Deadly Avenger's a walk-up starter, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In the Temley. Slick Splits is a walk-up starter. Kenya Mayhem's a walk-up starter. That's 3. Looking further down the list.
The interesting one, I suppose, is Dacey's Rory, considering he's made a lot
outside of those
finals.
3 I mentioned, I don't think there's any other walk-up starters. So for a greyhound like Paul Oswald, he's probably right in the mix.
You'd have to say, wouldn't you? Yeah. What about Tim Zoo and Mapunga Reward?
Tim Zoo's a really interesting case. I'm not sure I could.
It just depends on how you...
Same as Mapunga Reward.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. We'll have to go through that process. But anyway, luckily, we're not under the hammer to produce that field on Monday, which we'll see released, and the box draw will be done roughly about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, It's time to move on to the Farrugia Files here, Georgie. Now, before we actually get stuck into who you've got going around, and I can see your reaction, you're not looking forward to this next 5 minutes, which is fair enough. But you had a greyhound go around here at the Meadows on Wednesday night called King of Snake. Now, I was on the couch at home, and it's not often I have Sky on just night to night.
Rubbish. It's always
with
on.
with my arse end sinking into the couch. But I saw the first and I saw the time. I thought, geez, they haven't gone that quick. They didn't go quick throughout the evening. But what I did take notice of was James Vandermart's comments post-race. When I went back and watched a replay yesterday, take a listen to this. This is quite amusing. We'll see what Georgie's has to say afterwards.
Okay, there's two that I like, and one of them's against the dog that I own. So I know you're going to can me. He's a greyhound that wants
Hang on, I played the wrong video. What a host this bloke is. King of Snake. This is the one we want from the Meadows on Wednesday night.
You're going as fast as King of Snake.
Oh, my God. How good is this?
You are going as fast as King of Snake.
Can I get this up still? King of Snake, King of Snake, King of Snake.
I think he stayed in the boxes. Stewards.
Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, yes, he's the true stayer. King of Snake draws away, won it easily. 44.06 the time. Not sure if that time's right, to be honest. That's very slow. 44.06. It's amended to 44.03. That is a real walk.
Has your dog ever been spoken about after a race?
I have to admit, when I looked up at the clock, I thought the same thing. Geez, I copped it. I've never copped it after winning a race so much. Because I had...
Why? What style of comments?
Well, because I had James with me, my young son, Jim Bob, and he loves getting out if we win a race. And he said, Dad, come on, we'll go out and get a photo. I copped 3 messages. You're getting photos for dogs that can't break 44 seconds at the Meadows. Corey was laughing too. So it was, and then James is yelling out for me from the caller's box saying, that could not be right that time. Look, he's not an overly fast greyhound, but I'll take the win. Prize money was there and Vic bred and all that sort of stuff. But he's probably a 43.50 dog, not 44.06. But
time. Well, Reggie Magina, Mariner, he's got to get some credit.
Reg shook his hand and said, mate, you're doing a terrific job with him. So
winning races, all you can ask for. All you can ask for.
It is the slowest. I don't think I've seen a slower win over 700. Probably not. The track was playing a bit slow, but as I said, the dog is a bit slow as well.
Well, James Vandermart is the gift that keeps on giving. So that was absolutely outstanding.
Featured more than anyone in this show.
I love that, man. Anyway, let's move on to the Farrugia Files. Now, I just mistakenly played a video before which teased what we're about to link into now. Now, Georgie's had a reputation throughout this Grey Areas program for the last year and a bit where we get into the Farrugia Files. He shits on his own dogs in his commentary saying, nah, probably can't win. And every time he does that, they just seem to bolt in. They grow a leg. This is what happened last week with Charlestown at the Meadows last Saturday night.
Okay, there's 2 that I like, and one of them's against the dog that I own. So I know you're going to can me. He's a greyhound that wants to use a little bit of the track, so I feel sorry for the greyhounds drawn near him. This is probably just a touch short for him.
And Charlestown's going to go through and lead. Charlestown snuck away. Had the favourite by 3 lengths, but Charlestown, he slips off the rail, but he goes for home clear. And Charlestown's a emphatic winner at the end. Charlestown by 4.
You're an embarrassment.
You're an embarrassment, mate.
Oh,
Will this ever end? Will this ever end?
I think
we need
Charlestown...
Tim and Kilsyth involved in this show.
Come on, Tim. This is the greyhound I famously called a weirdo, and he is. He raced here on Wednesday.
No, that was Set the Sizzle.
Oh, yes.
Or I see another one.
Yeah, well,
You've got 2 weirdos.
They're the same. They're out of the same mum. They are both weirdos. He raced here on Wednesday and raced really flat, Charlestown, and then comes out and does that on the Saturday. And don't worry, I copped it, by the way, too. Just so you know, I was on the second dog in my multi.
I know. You tipped that dog last week and yours bolting.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, he jumped really well. And anyway,
unreal. Hey, look, this is amusing. We've got some international interest. What that means, I've got no idea. But that gentleman there, straight on the Grey Areas stream. Oh, who knows?
Form type.
Anyway, that's worth a giggle.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. The Farrugia Files itself, where last week there wasn't a lot to go through. You didn't have too many greyhounds going around. However, it's about the similar case this time around. So first of all, from the ones I identified at least, Geelong tonight, race 2, number 8, I'm calling him William Bust Up. What's your opinion on him?
Billy Bust Up can't win. You want me to set this
Here we
up, don't
go.
you? You want me to set
We've
it up?
heard
don't
this too many times. Keep
Nah,
going.
the red and the check are better greyhounds than him, and he's coming back from a fairly serious injury. If he finishes top 3, I'll be wrapped. So that's him tonight. I've also got Summer Quinn.
Tomorrow at Wentworth Park.
Yeah, in
race
the
8,
in the
number
free
4.
for all. Yeah, she's against Taramina for Andy Lord. That's not an easy race, but Summer Quinn is talented. Of Cora Mack looking to win back to back at Geelong on Monday.
Hang on, what race and number?
Race 9, number 6. Did tip her last week and she did win. So before you start killing me. And the slowest greyhound in Australia, King of Snakes, drawn box 4 at Shepparton over the 650. Sorry, Reg, we're only joking here, mate. He's been really consistent, that dog. But yeah, they're the only greyhounds I've got in, mate.
Unreal. And I missed it before. Have you got tips for the Meadows tomorrow night?
I
off
do.
The top of your head?
I do. I've got
All right,
them
well, let's
here.
get stuck into that. But you've had a good run because Paul Gertrude was your best last night, saluted, and the other one was
Zelda Kavilla.
And
And
so 2
Akala
from 2.
Ninjutsu in Q2 who beat Unreal Speed.
Oh, there you go.
That was the
So you
one.
are flying.
She's almost my favourite greyhound in Australia, Akala Ninjutsu. She wins every time, and she's like $8 and $9. I don't know what they're doing up there in Queensland. Anyway, Meadows tomorrow. Race 3, number 2, Amron Boy. We've spoken about a few of these. Amron Toy, sorry.
Winding back the clock.
Winding back the
He's
clock,
back.
coming out of retirement. Amron Toy. I seen he had a winner the other day, actually, Amron Boy as a sire. Race 7, number 3, Ascend Ecstatic, who led Zelda Kavilla in that sort of match race last week. And poor Oswald, I think, will bounce back to form. Race 3, number 2, race 7, number 3, race 8, number 5. But the betting really starts on Monday, Jay, but we'll get to that.
No, let's get into it right now. So normally Georgie's got an obscure outlay. Now, I took the reins last week with Jan Van Veen in the Windmill World Masters.
How'd it go?
Oh, he won his first match. He won his second match, and then he was terrible against Luke Humphreys. So he was put out. And then this morning, it was the first week of the Premier League.
Littler.
And he played Littler, and he's rolled Littler. So
Well, Littler was coming off a great win the week before.
yeah, he was, but he wins everything. So our man Jan Van Veen won the follow. It hasn't gone to plan. But anyway, we did promise last week, building up to the Super Bowl on Monday, Georgie's going to have a set of absolute certainties in the novelty markets. What have you got for us?
Can't wait. 26 degrees. What a day it's going to be. All right, I'm going to start with a couple that are serious ones. Not that I win money ever at NFL.
Get through them.
Both quarterbacks to throw an interception. I don't know what odds we're getting, but make sure you take that. Hunter Henry for the New England Patriots to score a touchdown anytime. That as well. And now some of the silly ones. The national anthem to go over, I think 119 and a half seconds.
We took the overs last year as well, didn't we?
And what's annoying is they go to the I heard this on another podcast. They go to the fighter jets and you don't know exactly when the last note hits for the national anthem. So we've got to wait for everyone to pay us out. Heads in the coin toss, got a big feeling about that. Go for the heads, and the Gatorade's going to be blue for the winning coach.
Okay, well, we got that one wrong last year, but we got the national anthem right.
All right.
What was the second one we're delving into?
Heads for the coin toss, anthems goes overs.
We're getting involved in the coin toss. I've seen it all.
I've
seen it all. Hey,
got to have a punt.
Anything more? We're done.
I think we're done. Big week of racing.
Big week of racing. And as I said before, we build up to the Australian Cup Carnival, which looks exactly like it does on screen. So things really get fair income from next week onwards, where, of course, the nominations for this series close today. I'm sure they'll be public knowledge this afternoon if they're not already. And then the fields for both of the Group 1s in the Temley and Zoom Top will be announced probably late Friday morning, somewhere around that time. Then we'll do the box draw early Monday afternoon. Then the fields will be out Monday afternoon as well. So we'll have a stack of time to go through these fields and really work out what's going to unfold on Saturday night.
And, of course, then you can listen to us on SEN on Wednesday after 11:30, where Gareth will open the pre-post market and say, why is this thing 50 to 1? It should be 9s. This will be a Gareth special come Wednesday. So we'll look forward to that. Gareth is in some form tipping-wise too. He's won a little bit of money. Got some coin, so he's
what on?
So if you see him at a
betting
pub,
on coin tosses or anything like that, or
well, don't worry, he'll be in on this Super Bowl stuff. Old G Hall for sure.
Hey, before we go, we got a comment here which is up your alley, George, from Ryan Vanderberg again with the latest awesome assassin letter recently. if there is still straws of Brett Lee available, would you go back to a dog like him in this day and age, or you're better off going to a dog like Bernardo?
Yeah, for me, it's Bernardo all the way. I'm not a believer in going. And a lot of the dogs that we have at the moment have got multiple crosses of Brett Lee already. So for me, it's nonsensical to go back to a dog like that. I mean, he was a champion sire and a champion dog, but no, Bernardo all the way for me. And I don't know if we can sort of hint this a little bit, but we're hopefully going to do something around the breeding area, and hopefully a podcast.
Go with it. Announce it.
Yeah, look, hopefully David Brash and I will be doing a podcast regarding breeding and all things that you can throw at David in terms of his knowledge in the sport, which is second to none. I'll probably put it out on social media for people to DM me some questions, but we've got a whole heap of questions to fire at David, because there's a lot of people who want to get involved in the sport too and want to know a little bit more about the breeding side of stuff. So we'll try to keep it simple. David's got knowledge that you can just he's amazing, but I can't wait for that. We'll probably push towards after the Australian Cup to go live with that. So any questions you guys have got, let us know, and we'll hit David up with them.
Outstanding. We all look forward to that. In the meantime, enjoy your weekend in what's a really big period of time for greyhound racing nationally. But now, from this point onwards here in Victoria, with the Warragul Cup tonight, fields announced for the Temley and Zoom Top on Monday, box draw Monday afternoon. We can see live on the Watchdog app, all the Meadows Facebook, and then we roll on to next week, of course. We'll be back here midday next Friday to talk about